So just like the moon, Mercury has no detectable atmosphere. Now, it's not just because it's got a low gravity, although that is definitely part of it, right? Mercury's small, so its gravity is the least, and it can't hold as much, right? So the gases could have been escaping because of the low gravity. But it's also because it's too hot and it's too close to the sun. So the high surface temperature and the low gravity combined basically burn off in the gases or let the gases escape. What's interesting about temperatures, when it's nighttime, it can get down to 100 degrees Kelvin. Remember, freezing is 273, so cold. Now, when you're facing the sun, it can get up to 700 degrees Kelvin. And again, boiling is 373. So super hot. So actually, this planet has the widest range of temperatures in our solar system. It's not the hottest, it's not the coldest, it's just the widest range. They also think Mercury could have water ice on the planet, probably at the poles. Alright, so here's a picture of Mercury from the Messenger when it flew by in 2008. And you can see some young craters, that's what the arrows are pointing to. They're also very bright, which could indicate that there's some water ice, or at least some sort of ice. Now, again, this is the surface of Mercury, not the moon. But you can see the craters. They're not quite as deep. Why are they not quite as deep? Well, because there's less gravity to pull the meteorites in, and so the impact doesn't quite have the same oomph. In between the craters, we got super creative and called them the Intercrater plains. I know, we're sometimes just amaze ourselves. They also think that some of the older craters were actually filled in by volcanic activity, similar to the moon's mirrors, right, where the dark spots are filled in by some sort of basaltic flow. They think the same thing might have happened to Mercury. Now, they do think that instead of like the nice dark basalt, it might be a little bit lighter in color. So maybe it's not even basalt, maybe it's something a little bit more silica based. But either way, they think there was some sort of volcanic activity kind of smoothed out some of the surface. So Mercury has scarps. They're basically cliffs, big cliffs. And sometimes they can actually cut across a crater. But what's neat about these is that it's not volcanic activity, it's not geologic activity, it's not erosion by water. What actually caused it was when the planet itself cooled. And it cooled so quickly that it literally shrank in size and split the crust open. And that's what caused these huge cliffs. And they think this happened about 4 billion years ago. On the surface of Mercury is something called Caloris Basin. And basically, a giant asteroid hit Mercury and created a basin, a crater. And this is one of the largest features that it has on the crust. The other interesting thing is that it's got mountains and volcanoes in it and around it. So its rim is about 1,400 kilometers across, and there's mountains. And there's also mountains inside the crater.